Recap is a great video formative assessment tool. Right now I'm at letsrecap.com, and then note this is my first time I'm going to sign up. If not, I'm going to log in, and you can log in and sign up with your Northwest Google account. It's important to know some of the recap verbiage to make the setup process easier. When it says add queue, this is like adding a class, so queue equals class. You can see here that I'm a participant in some of these classes, and the ones that say get join pin, this means that I'm a teacher, and right now I have 2 participants in this class. So we're going to go ahead and set up a new class or a new queue. Here I'll probably put my name, subject, grade, and then the sign-in option. This one's important. So you can do join and pin only or email and password. I'm going to choose email and password because I'm going to have my students access this class often. This participant sign-in options does a great job of explaining. So if they sign in with email, before accessing the class, you're going to give them this link, app.letsrecap.com. And then once they're signed into their account, they're going to join the class using the class join pin. And once they're in the class, it'll be there for them every time. So I'm going to choose email and password and then add. Note right away, it gives me some verbiage that I can share with students, but I can always go to get join pin up here at the top, and I can get this join pin for my students. So I'm going to have them go to app.letsrecap.com, sign in, and then type in the join code. Now that the class is set up, it's time to start adding content. You've got several options. If you simply want your students to respond via video to several questions that you produce for them, you're going to choose the multiple question flow. Now you'll notice there's also a start with a journey option. This is where you would then give students a series of videos to watch in order to introduce a topic. So here, this is students taking in content. This one is students creating their own videos to respond to questions. So I'm going to start with the multi-question flow. It gives me options to add several questions. You can add one or multiple questions. So what did you learn today? I've added a second question. Who's the protagonist of the story and how would you describe their personality? For math, maybe problem solve 5 can be solved multiple ways. Explain your reasoning on how you solved it, and you'll add the questions you want here. Now note that students are creating a video for every one of these responses. I could also record a video and ask the questions a student via video format as well. And that's really great. If you're going to have a guest educator, you can go ahead and give the students a little bit of direction via video. Whenever I go to next, I can see I'm going to assign this to everybody. And then note that there's a max recording time per question, so 15 seconds all the way up to 5 minutes. This works really well, especially if you want students to really think about their word choice. It's hard to sometimes fit in the reasoning into 1 minute, or maybe you want students to explain for a certain amount of time, like, hey, I want you to make sure your video is at least a minute. So it's good to give them some time there. And then you can schedule a due date, and you're going to click send. Now let's look at recap from the student's point of view. So I'm at app.letsrecap.com. This is a great link to put in Moodle or in your Google Classroom. And once students are here, they can sign in or sign up. So I'm going to choose to sign in with Google, and I'm going to sign in here with my personal account. As a student, I'm already the participant in 2 classes, but I'm going to join a new class or a new queue simply by putting in the join code given by the teacher. As soon as I get in, you can see that there's an assignment waiting here for me. So I'm going to go ahead and click, and when it's time to respond, I'm going to click on Respond. Okay. Note that I see the question, and I'm going to think about it a little bit, plan, and then click Respond when I'm ready. The great thing about Let's Recap is it pulls them. I'm going to choose to allow permissions. There's no editing or anything like that. It's simply giving video response. Okay, so here's my webcam. I can see I've got 2 minutes, and then I would click Record. So this is a test, and I would explain what I learned today, and then click Pause. Okay, note that I've got the option to re-record or go on to the next question. And then it's going to pull up the next question the teacher has for me, and I would click Respond. When I'm finished, I'm going to click Submit Response, and then I can see my response here. Note that I can go in and add comments here to the response. Note right now I'm signed in as a different student who has not yet responded, but I can actually go in and I can leave feedback for other students as well. So I could go in, I could see their video, And I could leave comment feedback. Now you could prompt your students with some feedback stems if you wanted them to give each other feedback. All right, finishing up here, we are back logged in as a teacher. I'm going to click here. I have 2 participants. And then from this response, I can go ahead and see all my students' response. I can also view the daily reel, which kind of compiles these together in a neat slideshow that I can show students, and we can give each other feedback on our responses. I can play all of the videos at one time, or I could click on individual videos. Okay, so as a teacher, when I'm playing all, I can go in and add comments for students. I also have the option to share videos or delete videos. So usually people will share by getting the web link, and then I can email this to parents, I can email it to another teacher, and share out the video that way. Let's Recap is a great way to get students explaining their learning, and it gives the teacher the option to create in-depth questions that will really make students think.